Hey, I hope your day is going well. Maybe you just got back from home after a long day of work or just got out of school. If your day isn't doing well today, then I hope that can change sooner than later. I'm not sure what this kind of video is. It's more like a podcast or journalistic type of video, but I digress. Let me start this off by saying I used to be a talkative person. I'd usually be the one to start up conversations with people and end up being friends with them. At the time, I never really had any issues making friends or anything like that. Until March of 2020. I'm sure we all know what happened around that time. This led to me being at home pretty much all the time, and the only kind of social interaction that I got was talking to somebody behind a screen. I rarely got to talk to anyone in person, other than my family and sometimes my friends. But as months went by, I slowly lost my ability to socialize with people. Talking to somebody online versus talking to somebody in person was way different. At first, I didn't come to the conclusion of me having social anxiety since I never had anything like that before. But now, I guess it's fair to say that I do. I started to second guess my actions way more, and it gets in the way of me wanting to say something or even doing something as simple as ordering food. You know what I mean? It's a barrier that I can't get out of. The fear of being judged by others is always on my mind. Here's some examples. This happened this year, around January or February. My friend and I were at this mall getting ready to order some food. This is probably the first time I've ordered food in God knows how long. So as I walked up to the counter, getting ready to say my order, I stopped. I started to breathe extremely hard with my body starting to tremble. My throat started to hurt out of nowhere, along with me losing my breath even though I didn't say anything. Without thinking, I left and went over to my friend and asked him to order my food for me. I was confused since I've never had any problems ordering food before. So why? Why now? At that point, it became a habit for me to ask my friends to order my food for me, simply because I felt like people are analyzing me all the time and focusing on me. Kind of like walking in your class when you're late and everyone stops what they're doing just to look at you. So a few months after that situation, I decided to take it upon myself and try to order food by myself for once. We went to McDonald's and ordered something light. I didn't want to make the order complicated where I would start to overthink. So I went up to the counter and asked the person at the register, "Can I have a chicken sandwich?" At that moment, I felt relieved and proud of what I did. It was something small, but it felt great. But then she looked at me dead in my eye and said, "Why are you looking at me like that?" I froze. I didn't know what to say. What do you say to that? Why would she say that? I began to overthink once again, and since then, I haven't ordered food by myself again. It's like the progress that I've made was all for nothing, and it went back to being in my shell. Maybe things would be different now if she didn't say that, but it doesn't matter. My social anxiety hasn't just affected my ability to order food, but just talking to people in general. I've previously mentioned that I would be the one to initiate the conversation and try to be cool with as many people as I could. But now, I see this as one of the things that I regret trying to do. Because I've talked to a lot of people prior to my anxiety, seeing them now in person is scary. I still go to school. I'm currently in my junior year of high school. So because I go to school, I'm going to see those people that I've talked to that I haven't seen since freshman year. Me not wanting to cause any awkward moments, I would always keep my head down walking in the hallways and having my AirPods at full blast whenever I saw them. I'd always think, what if somebody is looking at me? Or, I hope nobody is trying to talk to me. Being in person at school after over a year of being at home and doing online school is extremely hard socially. Even at my current job, it's difficult talking to my coworkers. I no longer work retail. Talking to people is not something I'm good at now, after losing my ability to socialize. I used to work at a grocery store, and I would have to deal with mostly old people getting mad over, I don't know, their coupons not working or them wanting a refund over something. One time while working, this lady wanted to use the lottery machine, but it wasn't working. So she went up to me asking if I could fix it. I don't think that a guy working at self-checkout knows how to fix a whole machine like that. So I told her I can't. Her mood instantly changed. She got frustrated and told me to get a manager. I looked around me and there was nobody there. So the only option I had was to page them on the speaker. There was no way I was going to do that. So I had to go over to my coworkers and ask them if they could do it for me. But similar to when I first tried to order food, I hesitated and overthought the situation. So instead of talking to my coworkers and asking them, I just paced around the store, freaking out. Finally, a manager came after a few minutes. Then, the lady looked at me, and I forgot what she said exactly, but it was something along the lines of, "Why do you even work here if you can't even do your job?" I know it was a dumb comment on her part, but for some reason, I couldn't get that out of my head. As rough as those stories were, I've had a few moments where I could look back and laugh. I've had some weird moments. A few months ago, me and my friend were going to Ben & Jerry's to get some ice cream. Behind the counter, there was a beautiful girl there, and when she made eye contact with me, my face got immediately red. So as a way of trying to fix my social anxiety, I told my friend that I was going to ask out this girl, but not in a normal way though. You see, I was still too scared to ask her out with my voice. So I went to my notes app on my phone and typed, "Can I have your number?" I know, very cringy and sad. For some reason, I was able to do all this, and I still asked my friend if he could order my ice cream because I was too scared. So as she passed my cone, I didn't say anything and showed her my phone screen, waiting for her response. She got a little red, but said, "I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend." I said okay, and walked away awkwardly. Not one of my proudest moments, but it was an attempt to break out of this social anxiety barrier. As of recording, my social anxiety isn't as bad as it was like in those examples. I've been taking the time to slowly talk to people in my class and try to build bonds with them. I think that social anxiety is something that doesn't go away after a few weeks of developing it. It's going to take time for you to have the ability to talk to people again and not care about what people think. I would say a movie that shows social anxiety really well is A Silent Voice. I might use a shot of the movie in my thumbnail, but I really recommend it. You don't need to have social anxiety to love this movie and relate to the main character. Maybe I'll talk about it more in a separate video. If you have social anxiety and you're watching this video, I would recommend that you see a therapist or talk to somebody close to you, whether it's a family member or a close friend. Some things that I've been trying to do are make small talk with classmates or sometimes even coworkers. You aren't the only person that has social anxiety. I'm sure many people have developed this over the time of being at home. Feel comfortable feeling uncomfortable. That feeling won't last forever unless you make it that way. I know this video is all over the place. I find making these kinds of videos therapeutic. Just letting out how I feel and just rambling on. I have more lighthearted videos in the future, so don't worry. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and sticking around with me. If you have any topics or questions you would like for me to answer, please let me know in the comments. If you have any suggestions to help me improve my video structure, then please let me know in the comments as well. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this video. Goodbye.